doing? This is Dex, aka Gothzilla, whatever you prefer to call me. Today I am here to dissect for you the differences and similarities between death metal and Egyptian music. Now, anyone with an ear can very clearly tell the differences between the two musics. I mean, they're like nothing at all similar. But that's only to the untrained ear. To someone who has been investigating these kind of things, like me, Detective Dex, I understand that there are similarities between the two. And I am going to get to the bottom of this case if it's the last thing I do before I die. So, with that said, let's begin. Alright, so I guess we should start with probably one of the most noticeable similarities between the two genres. Death metal music and Egyptian music both very highly influence the use of instruments because, well, let's just face it, you can't really pull off both with a vocal. It just doesn't give the right feel to it. So, death metal music, a lot of people may know, uses instruments such as guitars, the bass guitar, and then drums, and then occasionally they'll add other things like a piano or a keyboard for special effects. But other than those main things, they don't usually include many other instruments. You may occasionally find string things like violas, cellos, and large basses, but not much else. It's going to be kind of just it within that guitar, bass, drum type of range. Egyptian music, on the other hand, uses harps, flutes, and clarinets mostly, but it also has adapted the use of lyres, I think I'm saying that right, Lyres, and lutes, but they never quite gained as high usage as the other three, the harps, flutes, and clarinets. So, both genres of music use very similar scales in their progression, I guess you could say, of the music. Death metal music very commonly uses the Phrygian scale, the harmonic scale, and the pentatonic scale. And I mean, of course, there are going to be dozens and hundreds of songs that use other scales, but you can find a very large variety of songs that use those three scales in their music. And then Egyptian music uses the Phrygian dominant scale, just normal Phrygian scale, a double harmonic scale, and then the Lydian scale. And all those scales are kind of really similar to one another. There's spotted little differences, obviously, but they're mostly going to kind of carry that same kind of wicked type sounding ring to them, as you could probably hear in the intro to this video. There were two songs playing at the very beginning of this presentation. Although it may sound like there are actually three, there are really only two. The first was the intro to a song called At the Left Hand of God, which is by the band Behemoth, and they're from Norway, I'm pretty sure. Norway or Sweden, one of the two. The second one was called Sculpting the Throne of Seth, which is by the same band. And as if the title doesn't really give it away enough, Seth, in case you didn't know, is the Egyptian god of evil, chaos, desert, and storms. And so, I mean, obviously right there, the song itself has Egyptian influences. And then the intro that it uses, and as well as the distorted, kind of ununderstandable part of the song, is all using Egyptian, scales, if that makes sense. The song that has been playing in the background throughout most of this presentation, or at the time that I've been speaking anyways, is from the movie The Mummy. The song itself is just called Egypt, plain and simple. But, I mean, you can hear, it pretty much sounds like you're swimming in the tunes of the Nile itself. You just hear all these different elements of Egypt coming straight into your ears. That the composer of the songs, he really knew what he was doing. This song makes you feel like you are actually in Egypt. If you just close your eyes, you could see yourself just walking through, the desert, along the Nile. You can see all the pyramids, Great Sphinx, all that kind of things. And it really brings out the true heart and soul of Egypt. And that's one of the reasons why I chose the song, was just because of how passionate it sounds about the culture. And I'll turn up the music so you can hear it more as soon as I'm done talking here. But I just want you to kind of take into notice that it doesn't use, just the instruments I was referring to earlier. It uses a bunch of others because this one was created, for specifically for the movie, and it was much more modern with modern instruments, obviously. But it still carries out like the full in-depth tone of pretty much everything that you could ever really ask for from Egyptian music. So with that, I'll go ahead and let you just have a listen to the turned up volume sound of the music. Alright, so the next two songs I'm going to play for you are both like full songs from their respective cultures. The first song is going to be the Song of Pharaohs, which that's just what it's called. I don't know who it's by, I just found it on YouTube. And then the next song will be A Fire and the Void by Behemoth. So we'll do a little Mimi Hami Fostai Ko thing during it so you can kind of like see all of the different elements of them that they have in similarity. So let's begin.
Resurrected is the embrace of God.